I'll be home for Christmas. You don't want to see.
There's no snow, they have mistletoe, and Eddie arrested by a tree.
JTT's a psycho, in love with Jessie Biel.
I'll be home for Christmas. Makes me question if Santa's real.
Ho, 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 ho.
You know when I pick a movie, that's when I'm under pressure now. The question always comes back to me, what were they thinking now? Whoa, what were they thinking? What were they thinking?
Welcome, everybody.
Yes, happy Hanukkah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's people...
L'chaim!
L'chaim.
This is a podcast.
Oh, thanks. I got stuck in an endless loop there.
Feliz Navidad.
Yes. Happy
Buen
Festivus to the
Natale.
rest of us. What?
I said, Buen Natale.
Yeah. All that stuff. Ladies and gentlemen,
Joyeux Noel.
this is our holiday episode. I am Brendan.
Happy birthday, Barbara Mandrell. Oh, I'm Nathan.
Hope you have a great one, Babs. This is a podcast. You were correct in saying that earlier, Nathan. It's a podcast, and it's called What Were They Thinking?
Wow.
Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Oh, is that something else?
That's something else.
My bad.
That's the intro for your BFI podcast, isn't it?
Yeah. We play every time we play a Rage Against the Machine song to open.
It's not Rage Against the Machine.
Thanks, Brendan.
Nathan, that just shows you right there that I am a liar because I don't know who sings that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know the song. Okay. Wait, Richard Cheese, right?
Yes, Richard Cheese.
You were a disappointment.
Whoa, who's that?
Yeah, Mariah always jumped on the gun before her introduction.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Tisk, tisk.
Well, she comes with that big D energy, right?
Big dick energy! What?
Big dick boy! What?
So, yes, if you heard a right next to me, that can only mean one thing. We have a guest, a returning guest, onto the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen... Huge Dong, McHugenschlong, the lady who has denied it, but she, of course, is also the superhero known as Gargantuang. Ladies and gentlemen, Mariah Lirette.
Hi. It gets better every time.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice, Gargantuang.
Meanwhile,
You're supposed to keep that a secret, Brendan. Jesus.
Meanwhile, at the Balls of Justice, Gargantuang.
Look, if he can't keep Jericho's secret about being Jem from Jem and the Holograms, he's certainly not keeping your secret, Gargantuang.
Yeah, Gargantuang.
Brendan's just jealous.
A little bit.
Absolutely.
Who isn't? So I'm going to say right now, Mariah had a little bit to do with the movie we're doing. And by a little bit to do, I mean, like, she basically picked it.
Okay.
I was looking for a Christmas movie, and she said, how about this one? So we watched it, and I said, yes.
I'm pretty sure my mom gave me this movie once because, like, she thought it'd be funny. It was, like, the first Christmas I came home in a while, and I think she gave me for Christmas, I'll be home for Christmas. No, but I used to watch this a lot when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we own it on VHS.
What's that?
VHS. It's a video home system.
Does it work on your Blu-ray player?
Ah.
No, it's that they are cassette tapes, which you were both well alive for. So
I
don't
made them into
even.
a purse. My mom got them.
So
Yeah, Patty bought it. She is a sucker for Christmas movies.
Aw,
So when
me
I told
too.
her we were watching this, she was 100% on board. She still hasn't forgiven you for the Neil Breen movie, but
We watched all of the Neil Breen movies.
oh, that's too bad.
Oh no, it's great.
Well, let's talk about this. The film we're talking about this week is, of course, I'll Be Home for Christmas, starring Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Jessica Biel and Gary Cole, and I think
Fucking
that's all.
Birdman himself, man.
And who?
Birdman himself.
Michael Keaton?
No, Harvey Birdman, attorney at
Bird?
law.
Who's Harvey Birdman? I'm sorry.
I really hope you're doing a bit right
no,
now.
no, I don't know who that is. I've heard the name as like a cartoon. It's like a cartoon, right?
Yes.
I've never seen it.
Wow. Just
Who's in it?
Gary Cole,
Oh, okay.
Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, no, never saw it.
There's yeah.
Neither have
I,
so that's not surprising.
I was just going to refer to him as Lumberg, but yeah, I've never seen Harvey Birdman. Sorry.
Office Space predates Harvey Birdman, though.
Yeah, but I
Office
don't see... I haven't seen everything that's come out since I was born.
But it's Birdman. How do you...
Sorry. So, I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Yeah, okay, let's move on.
It's the story of a college student played by Jonathan Taylor Thomas. And, you know, he hasn't been home for Christmas in a long time, ever since his mother passed away and his dad remarried. He's very upset about that. But his dad makes him a promise. If you make it home for Christmas by Christmas Eve at 6 o'clock, I'll give you the Porsche. What follows is a string of wacky events as Jonathan Taylor Thomas tries to make it home for Christmas.
Fucking Porsche.
Are you like reading it like you should have done it like in the trailer, the movie trailer guy?
Well,
Porsche for Christmas. Will he make it home? Tune in.
tune in
I don't know.
as every movie trailer ended. Tune in and find out at
Yeah.
your local theater. These three that are no longer open. That was a joke for the patrons. For an episode that they haven't seen yet.
That hasn't been out yet. Yep. We record out of order. Yeah.
That makes referencing hard. We start off with the staple of every 90s movie aimed at younger audiences, an animated opening credit sequence, kind of.
Yeah.
This is one of the lazier ones. It's just kind of
like
like
a map.
a Santa hat just dancing around.
Wasn't it dancing on a map?
Yeah, they showed a map at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was on a map because they were showing the different places that, I don't know, he would be traveling to or traveling through to get home for Christmas.
Foreshadowing.
Okay, it's called I'll Be Home for Christmas. I think we knew there was going to be some traveling
Could
involved.
like went down the street.
That would have been a less dramatic film, I think.
That'd been
Yeah, I'll
perfect.
be home but by 6 on Christmas Eve. Dad, it's the 19th.
What if I hit every traffic? What if you hit every traffic light? Dad, there's one.
There's one between here and my dorm.
So, this movie hits you with an onslaught of 90s from the opening minute to like minute 3. Because, I mean, we meet Jake, played by Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Oh my god.
And he goes to his school where one of his friends is bullied and tossed into a locker. And he's all...
Okay, did either one of you guys go to college or university?
Yes.
Yes, what? There's no lockers in university.
Well, we had some lockers at the university I went to, but do you recall ever in university or college where people were bullied like they were in high school by jock douchebags?
Okay, so like here's the thing too, like I didn't think he was in like college because like he doesn't look like he would be in college. It looks like high school.
Yeah.
This looks like high school to me.
Well, and especially the kid that's being bullied looks like he's 12 years old.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
It's a real monster truck situation here.
Oh my god. Please no.
But yeah, so yeah, that makes no sense right off the bat. I feel like it was high school and then quickly rewritten or something. But his friend is in the locker, and Jake proves himself a great friend right from the get-go, because he's like, score me those Dave Matthews tickets? Yeah? Did you change my plane tickets? Okay, I'll let you out, I guess. And then he lets him out of the locker. And I mean, okay, so we're getting onslaughted with this 90s stuff. So bullied and stuffed in a locker, that's like a 90s teen movie trope. The Dave Matthews concert tickets, hacking the net, I believe he says at one point, and nasal strips.
Those like pads.
the pore strips.
Yeah.
They look like pads on the nose.
Yeah, I mean
Yes.
they're still in existence, but that
Not as
definitely
big.
feels it's definitely a 90s fad.
Yeah, because now they do it over their entire face with charcoal masks.
That's right. That's like what we're wearing
Blackface.
right now. No, it's not blackface, Mariah.
Oh, that's what it looks like.
You know, I didn't want to say it, so thank you, Mariah.
What, are we gonna have like a politician being like, no, I was just wearing a charcoal face mask? But he basically gets his little nerd friend to change his plane tickets so that instead of going home, he can go to Cabo with his girlfriend, played by the lovely Jessica Biel.
Who is a fan of Smash Mouth.
Yes, thank you. I wrote that down. I was like, oh my god, Smash Mouth poster in the back. That's
Again,
amazing.
super 90s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey now.
I'm going to say it right now. I think Jessica Biel, okay, maybe Gary Cole, but I think out of everyone else, Jessica Biel may be the only credible performer in this whole movie.
You don't think Nolan was?
No.
Aw.
I thought his delivery was really weird.
Who?
Nolan, the guy in the van.
Oh,
But
yeah.
so Jake proves himself. Not only has he proved himself to be kind of a shitty friend to his little 12-year-old college buddy, but he also crawls into bed when Jessica Biel's sleeping.
Oh my god, creepy.
And he's just like, hey, you always told me you wanted to wake up next to me.
I don't think he added the at the
Basically,
end there.
it sounded
but,
like
you know.
it, though.
Just like, who does that? Like, she clearly can't, like, is a deep sleeper because, like, she would have felt like she would have heard the door open. She would have heard him, like, rustling around, hiding his boner, and then go in the...
Hiding his boner. This is Jake we're
I
talking
don't
about.
know. I don't know how we're supposed to believe he's in college, though.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So Jake gets into bed with her, and he basically is telling her, I got these tickets to Cabo. We get to go there for Christmas. And she's like, you're stupid. I want to go hang out with my family at
Like,
Christmas.
here's the logic between this, like, the thing, like, why wouldn't he have, like, you know, asked her what her, like, plans were instead of, like, just buying fucking, like, just exchanging the tickets for the Cabo tickets?
Well,
I'm just I don't know. No logic.
Because he's a sociopath. 100%. He does not care really about anybody else's feelings or their concerns at all, except for, you know, the cliched stuff at the end. You know, he learns his lesson, he gets Ebenezer Scrooged or whatever, however you want to put it, but
Pretty much.
he does not care about anybody. Well, I mean, if he was even halfway decent at, you know, empathy, he would know that her family's important to her and she likes traditional Christmas.
He's kind of like Ben Affleck's character in Surviving Christmas.
A little bit.
Enter Eddie.
Idiot.
The idiot. He is playing the typical, like, tropey
Dude, bro.
high
What
school.
what kind of perfume you wearing? I got 3 words for you. New car smell.
Yeah, he's like, I bet you'd look great in this car, baby. Like he's a turd.
He's a dude bro before that was a thing. So
Well, and there's a line coming up later that kind of surprised me in regards to that. But yeah, he's a total dude bro, and he is like, again, he looks like a high school dude bro.
yeah.
So I think rewrites happened here. Remember vocal car alarms?
Yeah.
That's another thing that I was like, oh man, this movie is so of the
Step
time.
away from the vehicle. Whoop, step away from the vehicle. Whoop.
And then yeah, it's just like, I'm like, oh man, this movie is like a time capsule.
Well, just about anything that is representing that time, like as a present movie, would never, none of it would ever age well, because the technology just grew in leaps and bounds in the last 3 decades. So anytime you watch something that is set in its present time, it's usually pretty obvious around what time it would be.
Yeah, just like at some points though, this felt like almost parody level. Like it was almost like, "Hey, gonna go to Dave Matthews and hack the net," and "Oh my god,
oh my god, pagers!"
yeah,
You guys, pagers.
oh, though they call them beepers.
Well, it's the same thing.
Yeah. That's the slang.
Yeah.
So after this, we meet a bunch of douchebags.
Who the middle one is conservatively 35.
Thank you. This is the only time I bought that we were out of college.
Yeah.
This is completely off topic, but like on the table you can see a Nanaimo bar. So I'm like,
okay.
I'm like, this is a Canadian movie, maybe.
Okay. Do you think Nanaimo bars can only be made and sold in Canada?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a Canadian delicacy, okay?
I mean, you know what? You're honestly, this movie was probably shot in Vancouver.
Probably. So
the douchebags, okay, so they're just like talking about whatever, but at one point one of them says he went to the Viper Room.
The hell is that? Is that what Randy Orton is?
No,
that's
what?
where River Phoenix died.
That's where River Phoenix died. It's like Johnny Depp's nightclub, and I was like, what?
What the fuck?
Yeah,
So not
he
Randy
overdosed outside the Viper Room.
Yeah, and I was just hanging out there. Jake shows up and
that's what they want. They had bought fake IDs from him.
Yeah, and it didn't.
And they were
work.
waiting in line to get into the Viper Room, and the guy was like, "Piss off, because your fake IDs are obviously fake."
Johnny Depp was like, "Get out of here! You don't look Native American."
To be fair, neither does he.
No. But that's his thing in the 90s. He would just question everyone for not looking Native American because he wanted to be Tonto, and that was his like secretive way of ruling every other actor out. I don't know if you knew that. It's on Wikipedia.
Huh? We do get an interesting rant about loss of privacy online and all this stuff from JTT while I'm watching this on Disney Plus.
So
right?
This is where we kind of get to the drive of the movie, the whole premise of the movie, because Jake is talking to his dad, and clearly there's some strife there. His dad would really like some improvement if he came home.
Oh no, he was like, if you can come home for Christmas, that'd be great.
That'd be great.
But home improvement.
Yes, we got the home improvement, but she also made an Office Space joke. But there's room for both
I'm the
your
guest,
references.
okay?
Stop.
Let me have my joke.
It's Christmas. Stop fighting.
I don't know about that, Tim. Okay, now we're just quoting it. So yeah, he's like,
and the quote is, "I don't think so, Tim."
No, whatever. It's an old show that I didn't like even when I watched it at the time.
Oh, I love that show.
No, never cared for it.
Oh my god, that and Roseanne, that was my Tuesday night.
Roseanne was good. I never really liked Home Improvement. So he's obviously, he's a little bit estranged from his family because his mother died, his dad remarried, I think he said after 10 months or something like that. And his dad's like, "Listen, if you come home, I'll give you the Porsche."
So technically, I like a bribe.
Yeah, he bribes him.
That's
him to get home.
Positive reinforcement. Okay?
I mean, the movie even says that it's a bribe.
Yeah, well, they get the word wrong, because a bribe is the promise of something for doing something that's illegal, unscrupulous, or underhanded.
Yeah, it's
Positive
illegal.
reinforcement is a reward for doing something that you should do.
Mm-hmm. But he basically
parent,
has to
so.
give him something to get him to come
Well,
home.
this movie should be illegal, so.
Yes. It's this movie. There's a lot in this movie. And it's I don't know how to. It's as white as Christmas. I'm just gonna say.
Wait, you're saying that this Disney college movie about Christmas from the 90s is not very diverse?
Not particularly.
So Jake finds out about the Porsche, and he's like, oh, maybe I do want to go home. So he goes to Jessica Biel, and he's like, hey, listen, forget about Cabo. Just come home with me. Everything will be great. And then, of course, she's like, okay, cool. Let's meet tomorrow, and we'll go home for Christmas. And everything's great. Credits. All right, Nathan, do you recommend this movie?
Not in the least. Thanks, guys. Have a Merry Christmas.
No, unfortunately, the film continues.
God damn it.
Because the plot to send the test answers to the jocks via beepers goes awry when Eddie discovers what's going on, and I guess just intimidates the little 12-year-old college student into and sends them all a text that says, game over, you lose.
Yeah. But then he's like, he's friends with them. Mm-hmm. So he screws his own friends over.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Eddie's a sociopath too.
Yeah,
Logic.
Almost everyone in this movie is a terrible person.
Okay.
Almost everyone. So of course that causes that causes Jake to get confronted by the jocks, who refer to him as a dipstick.
Language.
Yep. Gotta clean up that language. Gotta PG it up.
Was this at the party?
Yeah.
I wrote a note and I was like, is he drinking a glass of milk?
I think
it's a White Russian.
Oh, whatever. It's still milk in it.
So at this point, we don't see what happens right away, but we do see that Jessica Biel is waiting for Jake. She's waiting for him to meet her, and he's not there yet. And then we cut to the desert where the jocks have apparently left him for dead in a Santa costume.
I actually have. That is legit assault, and they left him to die in the desert.
I wrote down, is this Breaking Bad? Ba-da-ba-da, doo-doo. I like that song.
Oh, I thought you were singing the Breaking Bad theme song.
I'm just singing the
song. So at this point, Jake gets a van and he starts making meth. He meets up with a science teacher.
Turns out the buzzard was a red herring the entire time.
Oh my god, that buzzard was so cute though.
Okay.
I thought they were kind of adorable. I'm not gonna lie.
And paw was out. Oh, his feet. I guess.
They had the most personality in the movie.
He was hopping around.
What about Nolan? He's so funny.
Okay.
And the Tom Jones ladies. I'm not getting ahead of myself.
Anyway, I think they're the most interesting characters. They actually have an arc. Because there's a vulture there, and it's kind of following Jake, and then it finds its mom, and then they walk off all happy.
Okay.
That's a whole movie right there.
Right.
That's a Disney movie. That's an animated Disney movie. Vultures.
From the director of Secret Lives of Pets.
That's right.
Or Secret Life of Pets.
Oh, the Secret Life of Vultures would be rated R, though, for all the corpse eating.
Gross.
Not if you don't show the death on screen. Because then it's just a nature documentary.
As long as they're not animated and talking, it's fine.
Right. So I'll be home for Christmas.
Yeah, so back at the school, Eddie, he has an idea of what's up. I don't think he knows for sure what's happened, but he's like, yeah, Jake's definitely got taken out by the jocks. So he's like, hey, Jessica Biel, I'll drive you home for Christmas. And then she actually stands up and says, all right, so if you touch me, I'm going to slug you. If you make one homophobic, sexist, or racist joke, I'm going to slug you. And I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
I thought that was pretty cool, especially for like a late 90s movie, for them to call out like not only the douchebag for being like a douchebag, but that they usually do resort to those kind of like jokes.
Oh, I was going to say that kind of thing was like starting to take form at that time. Because I remember very distinctly being in university at this exact time, and, you know, those kind of guys were slowly shuffling off to the side because people weren't dealing with that garbage anymore.
Yeah, I mean, still definitely in its infancy, though, in this time.
Yes.
So, I mean, it just, like, I was a little shocked.
Yeah.
But, yeah, she basically says, yeah, I'm going to fucking knock you out if you act like a dummy.
And she also essentially says, in no real uncertain terms, that she hates this fucking guy.
Oh, yeah. She's like, nothing's going to happen just so we're clear.
So why take a ride from him?
Across the country, too.
She has parents, right?
They
live in the same... Yeah, and they live in the same
You don't see
neighborhood as Jake's family, so they're probably fairly affluent. She might not be able to fly home, because I'm not going to assume that they're that well off, but she could definitely get a bus ticket.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's like a time constraint thing, though. Maybe like a last-minute thing that she can't do.
I think it's probably a plot device that Disney threw in because, cliches.
I don't know. It seems pretty on the up and up.
That's a long drive, though. It's 42 hours from, where they were. Pasadena to New York. So.
Yeah.
42 hours in a car with somebody that you don't like. I'd rather take a bus or fly.
But more 90s stuff we get here is answering machines that don't have a very long time for you to leave a message.
Oh yeah, because it fills up. Also, he offers Eddie does to listen to Fiona Apple or Jewel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
And she's like, I'm already in the car. You don't have to pretend.
I would have been like, good, because they fucking suck.
I wouldn't mind listening to Jewel.
I would.
Yeah. So Jake is at this weird gas station, and that's where he's calling. He does this movie thing that I fucking hate. It's like he calls home, and instead of carefully explaining what's going on in terms that don't make him sound like a lunatic, he says, I'm in a Santa costume in the middle of the desert being attacked by tumbleweed.
Yeah.
And then when his dad is like, okay, that's the lamest excuse ever, he just goes, but Dad, you don't understand. It's real. I'm like, why not just plainly say what's going on?
I was almost murdered.
Left
in the desert.
I was beaten and left for dead in the desert.
Yeah, the end. That's it. That's all you have to say. Or, call, I don't know, a police station?
Because here's the thing. If he actually came clean with what happened, and if his dad had pressed him on it, he would have also had to confront the monster that he is.
Yeah.
So
he,
But he doesn't, because right away he's given an opportunity to show yet again how much of a bloodless sociopath he is. Because when he gets off the phone with his dad, this nice stranger lady who's like, "Are you saying you can't get home for your Christmas and your dad won't even send you the money?" And then he launches into this story about his whole family pitching in to pay for his dad's triple bypass heart surgery, and he's just discombobulated because of the stress and the medication that he's on. And I really want to get home because it might be his last Christmas. Just say yes. Yes, that's unfortunately what's going on. My dad won't send me the money so I can get home for Christmas.
Yeah. No, he has to make a whole insane story.
Yeah.
And then this is the John Mulaney portion of the film.
Yes! What's new, pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yep. So his ride happens to be with a bunch of old lady Tom Jones fans.
Tom girls.
What are they? What?
Tom girls.
Oh, okay. And Jake quickly sours this new relationship by vomiting in the backseat of their car because she tries to put pickles.
They try to give they passing around preserves and one of the pickles, and that makes him sick, and he throws up in one of their purses.
Also, they were like, "Oh, can you put her teeth back in her mouth?"
Yeah.
This scene was legitimately my favorite scene in the whole movie, for not only the Tom Jones, John Mulaney thing, the throwing up in the purse, the sheer lunacy and surrealness of it. Being stuck in a car, driving across country with was it 4 of them or 5 of them? 4 rapidly aging, rabid Tom Jones fans. Mm-hmm. That's the movie I want to see. Not him throwing up and getting kicked out. I want to see him going from state to state with these old dolls and discovering the brilliance of Tom Jones.
And, I mean, he was just in Mars Attacks, so he'd probably make a cameo, too.
Right?
Yeah. But they kick him out, and meanwhile, we go back. Actually, as he's kicked out, he looks across the street, and it's another dumb movie moment because he sees Jessica Biel and Eddie, and he doesn't go, "Hey, it's me over here." He goes, "Oh, that's them," and tries to run across the street first.
Like 4 lanes of like traffic.
Instead
Yeah.
of just
highway.
saying, "Hello."
Like yelling her name super loud and waving his hands.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Eddie sees him first, and he's like, "Oh, we gotta get out of here. I don't want you to see your boyfriend."
Oh, and he nearly causes like a 12-car pileup.
Yep. And yeah, they quickly peel away, and Jake is all by himself, so he can enjoy the great green screen while it snows.
Oh my god. That was-
My note here actually was, it's hitch hike. Hitch hike. Start walking.
Well, he couldn't walk because he'd walk into the green screen.
Reindeer on strike.
Yeah. Every time I see somebody just standing with their thumb out, it's like, no, you're forgetting the second part of this. You're supposed to hitch and hike. For when there's no cars, you walk towards your destination. But when there's cars coming, you try to hitch a ride.
Well, maybe he was hitch standing.
That's not a thing.
That's what that Will Smith movie's about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he, and like the snow is so fake in this scene that I actually thought it was like the reveal was going to be like his nerdy buddy was making it snow again, like he did earlier in the movie.
What?
Oh.
He's just he's standing there hitchhiking, as Nathan says, as you do.
No, he's just hitching.
Yeah, he's standing there like you're supposed to, right?
No, because you're supposed to hitch hike.
But he does end up sleeping in a sleigh after having a conversation with a Santa doll.
Yeah, they do the super secret Santa handshake.
So cool, yeah. So cool.
And then going back to Eddie and Jessica Biel, they stay in like separate rooms, obviously. And then when Jessica Biel is like getting out of the room in the morning, he goes, "Oh, you're not so cute in the morning. I'm kind of glad nothing happened."
What a fucking asshole.
I'm like, wow, that's a way to get laid right there.
Well, even if he had played it cool, as soon as he got into the car and she was singing along to Aqua, I would have been like, whew, dodged a bullet.
Really?
Fucking
She could
Aqua
sing along
sucks.
to anything. I wouldn't care what she was singing along to.
Aqua sucks.
Sure, but it's Jessica
Nope.
Biel.
Don't care.
Okay.
There's nope.
So after he makes that comment, Jake gets hit by a van.
Yeah, Nolan.
Yes,
And he
Nolan.
like fucking picks like he's like the
He's
guy.
he's eating a burger in the most disgusting.
And he drops the tomato and he picks up the tomato and then he doesn't pay attention. Then he hits like whatever Jake. Yeah.
Yeah. He goes to eat the tomato that's fallen on the floor of his car, of his van.
Yep.
So he hits Jake with his van, but of course it's a Disney movie, so he didn't murder him.
No, of course not.
But he did knock him off the road
Off the
into
rail,
a ditch. Like he would be dead from that impact.
I like how you're kind of supposed to think that Nolan thinks that he's really Santa Claus.
For the whole time, right?
Because he says, "What? You mean Mrs. Claus is a two-time hoe?"
Was surprised to hear that in this movie.
They said ho, and this is supposed to be a kids movie.
Well, don't they have like a hell and a pissed off stuff?
I mean,
in here
yeah,
too?
but I mean, like, I don't know. Like, ho took me back a little bit. Like, I was like, whoa.
It's hoe, not whore. So
I mean, it's a variant of that.
Miss Claus
I
is a
know it
horse. Can you
is.
imagine if they said that in the movie? Holy shit. Woo.
now, if even like Mrs. Claus was a cheating cunt, then no, that would not pass in a Disney movie.
I mean, it is still that thing where you could just imagine like the small child being like, "Daddy, what's a hoe?"
No, it's a gardening implement, son.
That doesn't make sense in the context of this movie.
Well, too bad, son. It's the 90s and I'm still repressed. I did find out that Nolan was played by the same fellow who was Charlie Banks in the movie Necessary Roughness.
No idea.
Love that movie.
Yeah, we're talking about. We're like, he looks very familiar, but we couldn't figure out.
Yeah, I looked through his filmography and I
Iron
didn't
Man or
see
something,
anything
right?
that I knew.
The,
No, he played a satellite technician in Iron Man 3. I don't think that was it.
That was totally it.
That was the Scott Bakula football movie from the, I think, early 90s. But the reason why he looked familiar to me, I didn't recognize him from that. I had to IMDb him as well. I thought that he was the guy who plays Liam Neeson's friend in the Taken movies.
Oh, okay.
With the glasses and kind of a biggish beak.
I saw the first one when it came out.
Well, he was one of his friends at the barbecue, and he's one of the guys that Liam Neeson calls to get help.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So a prolific actor for the ages.
Well, it wasn't him. That's the thing.
It wasn't him. Okay.
It's not the same actor.
Oh, okay. Well then, okay. He's been in one thing that one of us has seen.
Yes.
There we go. Actually, he's in that Iron Man sequel. So I have seen that. I don't remember a satellite technician that looked like him.
Well, it's a smaller part
He was
now,
nominated
isn't
for
it?
an Oscar. Had you not known
Yeah.
who he was?
Yeah.
Nolan gets a new name. He's Snowpuff the Elf. And he gets this because they get pulled over by Mike Nelson, small town sheriff, this season on Comedy Central.
It did kind of look like him.
Yeah.
And they basically convince the driver that they're on their way to a children's hospital because we find out that Nolan is fencing some stolen goods.
Yes.
And the cop believes them, so thankfully they're like, "Oh, okay, we're off the hook." And then he's like, "You know what? I'm almost off work. You can follow me to that children's hospital."
Police escort, yeah.
Oh, wacky hijinks. What a mix-up.
They start giving out kitchen appliances to sick kids.
I want that fucking toaster.
Yes, you want that toaster, Mariah. However, an 8-year-old in 1998 doesn't.
Yeah, this is also the moment where I'm like, how, I mean, we find out later, I guess, but I'm like, how stupid is this cop? Where he sees them giving out clearly, like, not the presents they were going to give these kids, and he's just like, yeah, everything seems on the up and up.
Well, just like as we see this character like develop, you realize he's kind of a fucking idiot.
Oh, he's an idiot, but I mean,
I was gonna say he's probably just too preoccupied with his marriage in shambles.
like, I don't think I don't know how he passed the police exam.
He's protecting America, kids.
Oh God.
Well, if he's a sheriff, he was elected.
Or was he, Nathan? Sometimes people in power are not always legitimately elected.
Right.
What?
It was something Russia had to do with it.
Yeah, Russia got that sheriff elected.
We will start with this small town.
And eventually, the dumb orange man.
Garfield?
Yeah, President Garfield. Andrew Garfield.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. Just imagine we live in a world where a CGI cat voiced by Bill Murray is the president.
Lorenzo Music, you fucking Philistine.
What?
The guy who originally did Garfield's
Oh,
voice.
I know, but I just want Bill Murray's voice to be the president.
Yeah. Plus, Lorenzo Music's dead, so...
Yeah, there you go. See? The music is over.
Yeah, that was the day the music died, that's for sure.
That's what that song is about?
Yeah, it's the death of the voice actor who did Garfield.
The death of Lorenzo Music. Even though it was probably written, like, years before he died.
Like, at least 2 decades before, yeah.
He heard that song and he was just like, oh man, what a horrible thing to sing about. Mm-hmm. I'm still getting work here.
I feel bad sometimes for him because he lost the gig doing the voice of Peter Venkman on The Real Ghostbusters because Bill Murray complained he sounded too much like Garfield.
Whoa.
Wow. Whoa. Mind blown.
Yeah.
That's
and then
crazy...
Bill Murray plays Garfield in the Garfield movies.
Yeah, that's a crazy...
sounding
crazy
too much
circle.
like Bill Murray.
I mean, to be fair...
To be fair.
To be fair.
I thought his voice was pretty appropriate for the Garfield movie, as shitty as the movie was.
It's one of the few things that I hold against Bill Murray.
I don't know. I guess he kind of regretted it too if you watched Zombieland.
Yeah.
He did say he regretted Garfield. Anyway, I'll be home for Christmas. So after they give out the gifts to these kids, we have a super like schmaltzy moment with one of the kids. And he's like, I just want to get home and have family and presents and eggnog and whatever.
With mi mama, mi papa, mi hermano. He's basically listing off his family's titles, I guess, but in Spanish.
Right.
Which is cool because the kid's Spanish, but it was just like he went on, and then he actually said my mother and father, didn't he?
I think so.
Mi mama, mi papa. I think that's
okay. So no, he didn't say that. There was one. There was one that he said, and I was like, "Come on, there's a Spanish equivalent
my
of that.
grandmothers
That's just
and
lazy."
grandfathers.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's definitely what he said.
That must have been it then.
You should have said that in the accent.
Yeah, they didn't. Their Spanish language consultant went home for the day.
Right. They didn't have Robert Rodriguez.
Right. Oh,
Racer, you must say grandmother.
Dad, we gotta go. You're still not done filming From Dusk Till Dawn.
Racer, my boy, just get the car warmed up.
Okay, I'll drive again.
He's a good boy. Terrible drawer, though.
I'm going to kill him in my next movie.
So everybody calls their dad, except for JTT, who tries to call his dad and gets his stepmom, and he is such a raging fucking boner.
I feel
towards
so
his
bad
mom.
for that stepmom.
Same.
Right? She is just being nice and trying, and he is giving her nothing. Asshole.
So after this whole thing, everybody's very touched by this moment. Nolan is like, you know what? I said I would drive you, but I'm going to go home to my family now. I'm going
Suck
legit.
it, Santa. I'm leaving.
Yeah, I'm going legit. I love you, man. But thankfully, because everything in this movie is such a fucking coincidence, the cop is like, listen, I'm heading to Nebraska, and I need your help in reconnecting with my wife.
It's a 6-hour drive.
Oh my god. Like, hey guy, I just met like, I don't know, an hour ago. Since you're so good at talking to kids, you think you could talk to my wife and convince her that, you know, I cheated. I made out with some rando, but it's fine.
It wasn't a rando. It was an ex-girlfriend.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
So that's our next step here is they go to this restaurant where this themed restaurant.
Turf and Turf.
Oh, I didn't even see the name.
Yeah.
Surf and Turf. Oh,
And
God.
apparently, the cows eat in the pen next to you. You pick the cow that you want your steak to be, and they kill it on the premise and butcher it for you.
That's insane. What do they do? Just make your steak and then throw the rest of the cow out?
No, put it in
I
hot
don't
dog.
think so.
Make hot dogs?
Yeah.
If I'm guessing, maybe what would happen is they would cut the steak from that cow, and the rest of it would be processed and sent and sold to beef in supermarkets.
Now, little Jimmy, which cow do you want? That one. Now give him a name. Give him a name. Bessie. Okay, now we're gonna kill this cow. Put him on your plate.
And also, Billy, cows are girls, so stop calling them a he, because bulls are male bovine.
Yeah, well, I said Bessie, so whatever.
Right.
So Jake goes in, talks to Marjorie, who is this cop's wife.
Who, you know what? Good for her, because right at first she was like, no, that guy's a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted this to go south, and for her to be like no, and then he'd have to find out another way to get home. But alas, he basically comes out of the restaurant. He's like he relates his own story without saying his own name. But
oh yeah, and she's got his fucking number, too.
Yeah, she's like, who would treat their stepmother like that, you piece of shit?
But if she's a babe.
What? Oh, yeah, the guy at the table?
Yeah.
During that whole thing, he's like...
Well, she's a babe.
Yeah, if she's a babe, why would you get mad at him?
Saying
She's
it
a babe.
in front of, like, his wife or something.
Yeah. I'm like, eat your fucking grits, you weirdo.
If I was, like, customer, I'd be like, what the fuck? Why are you, like, why is the waitress, like, yelling at this guy, like, guy dressed in a Santa suit? Like, I'm getting the hell out of here. Let's go to Denny's or something.
They are getting a low Yelp review when Yelp is created.
I'm going to wait by my computer, and as soon as Yelp becomes a website, 1 star,
Or maybe
baby.
they were the creator of Yelp. We don't know.
Oh, shit, that guy at the table created Yelp?
Yeah.
I need a place so that everyone can register my disgust. So because that fails, old JTT goes outside and they think all is lost, but no, an Appalachian mariachi band shows up.
Yeah. Again, it's another one of those, like, oh, don't worry that happened because this is happening. And it's like, oh, okay, movie. I know it's Disney and I know it's Christmas, but goddamn.
In this scene, he comes in and he just, like, he brings the band in, he starts singing.
Yeah, and he
the
starts
lyrics.
writing lyrics on the fly.
No,
And
that's
this-
Jake does that
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah, and this fucking song went on for at least a year.
His voice, like, for some reason, I thought, like, it sounded like Adam Sandler. Like, just, like, he was like, ow, on. Like, I just...
When the
like,
cop was singing.
Everything they make up, and her and him are clearly going to make up super hard because they're pretty much just making out as Jake leaves. And I'm just like, you know what? Good for her.
Also, there was sort of a blowjob joke.
Yeah?
Because he goes, he's... Jake tells him to get on his knees, and he reads it to her like he's like, now on your knees.
Now on your knees.
I'm like, whoa, that's okay.
Oh, your 90s is showing there, Joey Lawrence.
Whoa. But they reunite, and the cop is like, here's a bus ticket, Jake.
Yeah.
And he gets on the bus.
Oh, now, we go next to Eddie and Jessica Biel. Mm-hmm. And they're looking for a place to park for the night because, you can't drive straight through to New York. And they see it's like a Dutch village. Now, Brandon, I mean, you're a 90s kid. Mm-hmm. I mean, right? And I my coming of age was in the 90s as well. Junior high, right at the university. Never once have I ever seen something that was just absolutely cheesy and went, ugh, Velveeta.
Oh, you mean that wasn't a natural thing to say?
Not in the least. Bothered me.
I do like that when they get there, Jessica Biel sees like the thing of like the guy chasing the woman, and she's like, oh, sexual harassment used as a joke.
Yeah. So he can get his little quip in, oh, well, don't look or you'll have to testify to it in court.
I know, I was like, whoa, what the hell was that?
Yeah, he is not sharp enough to be that clever.
No. But they get to this Bavarian village, and meanwhile Jake is on the bus and stops at a little like a bathroom break or whatever.
Yeah.
And is weirded out by some kid who he also kind of weirds out too, because he's like...
No, the kid gives him a solid critique on his Santa-ing.
Yeah. He's like, which ho-ho-ho is appropriate for which audience, and then at the end the kid's just like, whatever.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the worst thing that's ever happened to a 10-year-old in a bus station bathroom.
Jesus Christ.
What? I mean, someone tried to sell them drugs. What are you guys talking about?
That,
yeah.
Okay, good.
Good thing there were no senators in there.
He had a wide stance. Oh
my.
Man, that's
a deep cut.
That has got to be top 5 worst excuses.
Whoa, that is a deep one.
Yeah, I like it though. So yeah, after this we go back to the Bavarian village, and I think Jake is in like the store or the restaurant or something as he's coming out of the bathroom, and he sees on TV, and Eddie fucking plants one on her.
Oh, yes, because they're under the mistletoe arch.
Yeah, he plants one on Jessica Biel, and he's like, I bet you're not going to make fun of me anymore. Which I think the follow-up to that is hilarious, because it shows they're in the same bed, but he's got like 10 layers of clothes on. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you want me to put more clothes on? She's like, no, I think we're okay.
She's like, I really feel safe with you lying next to me.
Yeah, and then he's like, more clothes? No, we're good. But obviously Jake is enraged when he sees that on TV, and he comes up with the craziest fucking plan.
All right, okay, so in this plan, was that guy gonna eat just like raw meat on bread?
That's what I was thinking.
He was, and he also smeared barbecue sauce on it with his finger, and then it's like, but if he was gonna eat it though, we saw him going to take a bite. So how the fuck is it still there?
Well, I mean, I'm guessing he had more.
I guess so.
So like he's like going into the scene, like we see a
Oh,
little girl.
he got the to-go bag at Turf and Turf.
Or he has it in a cooler. He takes this kid's crayons and writes that it's an organ transplant.
Yeah, and he takes a
Yeah, it looks super legit.
Yeah, because you write it in crayon, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
There's not like legitimate labeling for that sort of thing.
No, of course not.
So here's the thing, like how? Okay, so the guy. Okay, so little girl crayon's cool. Like maybe they went missing. The guy's cooler. Maybe he would like. Why hasn't he like clued in? Somebody took his cooler. And how about this guy that had the sandwich? Wouldn't they clue in that's a fucking sandwich? Like it's like meat from the sandwich. I don't know.
Yeah, wouldn't it be like,
I'm
hey,
so confused.
I recognize that raw meat anywhere. Also,
Nice
I got that when I was at Turf and Turf.
Yeah, that's right. It does take a lot, though, to convince discount Steve Carell, the bus driver, to pull over.
It does look and sound like him too.
It does.
A little bit.
Yeah, so he eventually convinces the bus driver, we got to get this organ to, who does he say? Like a little Allie. Oh, because it says her real name. Yeah.
Yep.
I finally figured out Jessica Biel's character's name. Yeah, little Allie in the Bavarian village.
Yeah, they had to go to the freaking like tourist spot. Yeah, that makes total sense.
That's where little Allie is waiting
Oh
for her liver.
Oh my god, I can't with this movie. Where'd he get ice? Oh yeah, from the cooler, I guess.
So the bus stops and he goes searching for Jessica Biel. He gets kicked out of the hotel because he grabs the girl at the desk by the collar.
Yeah.
Jake like straight up like, I'm not gonna say he says like, I'm gonna kick your ass, but he fucking grabs her by like her collar and is like, I gotta get in this hotel.
Hashtag me too. Okay.
I don't know what he was thinking, messing with German guys in uniform.
Yeah.
I mean, look out that they might make him take a shower.
Yeah. They
Feel free to cut that one out if you want.
What, that they might make him take a shower?
Yeah, because they're German security guards.
Oh, okay.
They make him take it. That's a Holocaust joke,
yeah.
Brendan.
Oh, Jesus.
You didn't realize that?
No, I
Even
didn't.
I did.
I just thought you meant he was filthy.
Nope.
Leave it in. It's funny. Joey.
Merry Christmas.
So yes, he gets kicked out, and then he sneaks back in to the hotel, and he goes into the room to see Jessica Biel, and then Eddie just comes out of the
out of nowhere like an RKO.
boom.
Boom.
Wrestling
Second
reference
second
secured.
one.
So Eddie comes out of there with a towel on, and he says like, gross things. Basically, this love nest is full, baby.
Well, there's room for one more.
I don't think he said that, Mariah.
Oh my god, that would have made this movie super progressive.
Go Disney.
Yeah, right?
I don't know why everyone's so hung up on the Frozen 2 thing. They were already doing this in 98. But, yeah, so in order to get rid of Eddie, Jake just, yanks his towel off.
And they look down.
Yeah, I wanted a moment where Jake looked down and was either like, haha, it's
crap.
small. Or looked down and been like, oh, come on! But there's nothing like that.
There's no no scene of Jessica Biel licking her lips or something. Oh, wrong movie. Oops, sorry.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
This is not the movie where she plays a stripper.
I think it's just really inappropriate for a Disney movie, and it didn't really need to happen because like you're not like diminishing his character really.
I don't understand how that would make him. If anything, that would make Eddie just being like, yeah, there it is.
That's right. That's why I'm like this. There's no blood flow to my brain.
It's all there, baby. And this is another moment where Jake could have just said, normally, I'm trying to get home for Christmas on time. But he says, Christmas Eve at 6 o'clock. If I don't get home I gotta get home by then.
But he could have said anything. Like, he was like, I need to be like home for 6 for dinner.
Yeah.
Or like, but
he does say for dinner, but he says it in the most like defensive way. Because he's like, for dinner? And Jessica Biel's like, why are you really going home?
Yeah, you're a lying piece of shit.
Yeah, and then she finds out he wants to go for the Porsche, and she's like, BT Dubs taking your spot on the bus now.
How can that even happen? Like, how, like, I don't know.
Because Discount Steve Carell sees through Jake, and he's like, you don't deserve to be on this bus. Yeah. He also did, like, swindle him and pretend there was an organ.
Yes, yes, he did.
I mean, I think
you made him take the detour for nothing.
Yeah, I think bus driver is in the right to be like, yeah, you're not coming back. Man, so Eddie witnesses this all, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna drive you because I'm gonna help you out. I don't know why reasons.
So they can have this quick stupid scene to pad out the film.
It's so dumb. It's unnecessary.
Right?
It's such like an unnecessary, like, why even have this moment? Because he drives him for a while. What?
Then he's like, get out.
How is it racism?
It leads into some racism.
It does?
What are you talking about?
Never mind.
Okay.
We'll get into this.
No, you don't get to do that.
When he was like, Kenya?
Eddie had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, Eddie wasn't part of that.
Oh, I don't
know. We'll get there. Don't worry.
Cut that whole part out.
So, yeah. So anyway, Eddie drives Jake, and then he's like, I don't want to be too nice. That's bad for my rep. And I don't want you to get that Porsche, because you're going to be cooler than me, and that's no good.
He sounds like our skater guys.
I'm going to go check out Thrashing.
And I'm going to go down on Vicente, Pal Peralta.
So Jake is dropped off in Wisconsin and decides, hey, there's a Santa race happening because, of course, why not? And I can win enough money to buy a plane ticket to get home. And that's when that's what the moment you're talking about, Mariah, the weird moment where this black guy runs by dressed as Santa, and Jake just says, Kenya?
That's so,
what?
So bad.
I didn't understand that.
Did you just assume it? Like he's from Kenya?
He just like, I don't know, was there like a famous Kenyan racer at the time or something?
Every year, every Olympics, every track and field championship, there's always a heavily favored runner, usually from African countries.
Yeah, but like he's just assuming he could be like, Joe from like down
Detroit
Wisconsin.
or like Wisconsin.
Well,
yeah.
Don't say Detroit.
I said Detroit or Wisconsin.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
It's okay, guys. It's all right.
Oh yeah, I said Detroit or Wisconsin. I was just naming off places.
Anyhow, yes. To answer your question, he is assuming that, but it is also a trope or a stereotype or a cliche that Kenyans are great runners.
It was just a weird moment in the middle of this movie. Just like, Kenya? Okay, and then back to the movie. What? Okay, whatever. This is where the moment we go back to Eddie, and he's trying to get through this roadblock, and he yells at them to get out of the way, and oh, lo and behold, these Christmas trees are police officers.
That was... I don't know. That was weird. I mean, I get they're working security for the Santa fun run, but why would you dress your police officers in costumes that would prevent them from getting to their service weapons?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I also don't think he would get arrested for that.
Well, no, he wouldn't.
Especially where he didn't see that they were police, and he literally just said something like, get out of the way, kind of made fun of them a little bit, but, you know, he wasn't, like, openly screaming at police officers.
I think I guess the joke more in this situation is that, you know, the cops will detain him even on the flimsiest and then just let him go after they've inconvenienced him because he was being a dick.
It's just so he can have the joke where he's like, help me, Jake, as they drive by, and he's like, bye-bye.
Yeah, there's that too.
So Jake tries to enter the race. They're like, it's cost $10. He doesn't have any money on him, but thankfully another Santa is there to cover for him. We find out later that Santa is Mayor Wilson. Can I ask you a question, though? Mm-hmm. Both of you. Did either of you guys think that the twist was going to be that this other Santa was the real Santa?
No.
I really thought that was going to be the twist.
Yeah.
Because, like...
That's too much to throw into this stupid movie.
No, well, I'm not saying it's smart or anything. I mean, Christmas with the Cranks had that dumb twist, too.
But it was at the end, not the middle of the movie.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we're coming close to the end. But I just mean, like, especially when he goes... So basically, Jake wins the race. And he wins the money, and then he finds that this other Santa is Mayor Wilson, who usually uses the money to donate and give turkeys to, you know, poor families.
Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Oh.
To what?
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen.
It just goes, oh, a bunch of turkeys.
Well, no, he's his next door neighbor. It's Mayor Wilson.
Oh, and then when you said turkeys to oh, shit. There you go.
Right?
Wow. So he gives them a bunch of bad movie deals because he gives them a bunch of turkeys. But
well, I mean, have you seen Old Dogs?
You mean Wild
the
Hogs?
Shaggy Dog? Wild Hogs?
Yeah. I have seen...
Hog Wild?
Hog Wild? You mean the WCW pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Oh, Tim Allen was one of the bikers.
I thought that was Road Wild.
It was Hog Wild and then Road Wild.
It was, I know.
Yeah.
So they got a cease and desist from the Harley Davidson
Oh, shit.
group.
Is that why?
That is why.
That's hilarious. So, leave it to WCW to not realize they had a lawsuit with using that name.
I don't know. It seemed kind of flimsy. I think that they could have got around it if they'd fought it, but I think Turner was just like, nah, just change the name.
And also, give me more movies in color. Come on, what am I paying you people for?
So I'll be home for Christmas.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear it.
Oh, good.
Well, you can plan on me.
Oh, okay. Great.
There'll be snow and a mistletoe.
Oh, okay. Oh,
And Eddie got arrested by a tree.
So he goes to Mayor Wilson's house to give the money back because he feels bad. This movie gives him a conscience at this point. And Mayor Wilson is all, hey, why don't you, do you have a place to go? We can always set an extra spot up for you in the house here. And that is the moment that I thought, oh shit, it's going to be Santa Claus. I really wanted it to be, and then I've been like,
now, it's now.
And every time, like Jake gets a response from like a person, he always has like a smarky, like he always has a comeback to whatever.
oh yeah, he's that typical like 90s smart aleck tropey character.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This is like, you know, that kid from Home Improvement. Give him his star vehicle.
Whatever you say, sir.
And now he's a mega billion-dollar enterprise of a star, right?
I thought he was like an environmentalist now, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. He actually looks like he's doing okay.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a drug addict.
Yeah, so that's good.
It's because he saved his money.
Crazy.
He did go to college after, you know, when television and movies started to kind of wind down a bit for him. He actually did go to Yeah,
he's one of those rare child stars that didn't have a terrible fall, so that's great.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to this movie. He can't get home. He still can't get home because obviously he just gave up his tickets. Calls home and we get the fucking biggest like Deus Ex Machina. His sister's like, "Oh, I have all this birthday money that I have saved up."
With the Game Boy on the, she's laying on the couch and she has like a Game Boy beside her. I was like, "Oh, that's my god."
My note there was Sister Ex Machina actually.
Yeah. And then the crazy thing is, it doesn't even work.
No, it doesn't. It's just there so they could make him eat crow and say that thing about his sister and how she's awesome to the boss from Dead Like Me. Oh no, the boss from Dead Like Me she was the clerk at the Santa run. Never mind.
The really happy one?
The one who worked at the temp agency. She
the
was
super smiley one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Dolores.
Yeah,
Dolores.
Okay. Dolores and her big brown, what is it? Dolores Herbig, as in her big fat ass, is what they used to
is it
say.
her big brown eyes? Yeah.
Oh, man. Does anybody remember that show? Tweet us.
Love that show. I got both seasons on DVD.
Yeah, the movie's not great, but the show was good.
Not really, no.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. There's no way they wouldn't, when this little girl was buying tickets, there's no way they wouldn't have told her the policy, verbatim. The person has to come in, miss, with a photo ID and present the password.
Yeah.
Well, she's from a pretty affluent family, so she's probably like, you know what? Book the tickets. It's worth it.
Yeah. She's like, I want to get one last laugh. So he ends up sneaking his way into where they keep the dogs and shit on the plane. Yes. And we get a hilarious dog fart joke.
Well, yeah, you gotta.
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas.
Yeah. Remember all those dog fart jokes in Christmas Carol?
Yeah.
I do. I was just in a production of it, so yes, they were prevalent.
Yeah, every 5 minutes. Wait a second. I see that pages 10 to 25. There ain't no dog fart jokes. Lenny, get over here. He gets out. He gets on a train. He gets kicked out of the train
because he didn't have any tickets.
No ticket.
He gets on top of a car while it's driving, and somehow when he bangs on the roof, the person driving doesn't hear him.
But you can hear the kid going Santa and looking out the window. I know it's just a little kid, but
yeah,
maybe I
what
would keep
an idiot.
Little kid,
yeah, what a stupid kid. It's not Santa. It's Jonathan Taylor Thomas from TV's Home
and
Improvement.
He has no beard. He doesn't even have a hat on.
He has a hat.
Does he have the hat on?
I don't know.
Point? No,
no. Yeah, she had ripped it off his head.
Right. I think he put it back on, though, when he was doing that whole thing where that kid was talking him in the bathroom.
He had it back on because he had to have it during the Santa Fun Run, too.
Right, yeah. Right. So I think he had it back on at this point, but he doesn't have the beard.
Yeah, because she ripped it off his head when she found out that he was trying to get home for the Porsche.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
we're all squared away now.
He eventually gets to stops by a parade and just takes their one-horse open sleigh.
Yep.
And takes it right to Jessica Biel's house. And, there's a little callback because earlier she was like, I wouldn't make up with you if you came to my house in a one-horse open sleigh. So, clever.
Laughing all the way. Ha, ha,
ha. So Jake takes the sleigh to Jessica Biel's house. And she's all, he's like, one-horse open sleigh, huh? And I'm like, oh, girl, don't get with either of these guys. Eddie and Jake are both the worst for different reasons. And then he goes, he's like, this is real, and this is a real kiss. And they make out and head to his house.
Yeah.
They're sitting outside, and of course, most obvious thing that happens here is that they wait until just after 6, so we won't get the Porsche.
Exactly.
Which they've left outside, by the way.
Yeah, well, as a welcoming beacon. Yeah. In the convertible while it's snowing, yes.
Yeah, there's no roof. There's
no.
That's going to be just going to leave that out all night. Okay. So he goes into so Jake like I said, he waits till after 6. Too late for the Porsche. He walks into the house, and his dad and the stepmom and his sister, they're all excited. He tries to give him the Porsche, and he's like, "No, Dad, don't give me the Porsche. It's gonna take a few more Christmases for us to get that ready." Meaning he's gonna start coming home for Christmas.
Right.
End scene.
Yeah, he bonds. Well, not yet. He bonds with Carolyn, tells her his sweater size.
Oh, so awkward.
And then she tells him her sweater size.
I'm an 8. An 8.
And then the last confrontation is the parade coming up and saying, "Hey, you stole our sleigh," and they're like, "We'll just lead the parade now."
And they're like, "Oh,
I
yeah, sorry, go ahead."
I really like. I would have been great if the guy holding the Peace on Earth sign, instead of doing what they did, just been like, he's got the Peace on Earth sign. Let's kick his ass. But no, we get this goddamn Hallmark ending.
Yeah, marching the parade down the street. I mean, of course, of course, this movie's gonna have an ending like that. It's a '90s Disney Christmas movie,
Right.
so that's kind of where we end. They're leading down the parade. The end. Credits. Mariah, as our guest, would you recommend I'll Be Home for Christmas?
Sure, if you want to watch a shitty Christmas movie.
So yes.
Yes, no, yeah. No, yeah, I would.
Okay.
It's just like, you can have it on as background noise. You can do stuff while you watch it.
Yeah, that's background
Or
noise.
just not watch it. I mean,
It's like,
Okay.
I don't know.
Nathan?
well, I wouldn't recommend it simply because it is just, it's a Hallmark Channel movie with a budget. That's all it is. The only thing that really kind of separates it from something that you would see on a Hallmark Christmas movie that's not about a busy business lady who learns the meaning of Christmas. If they're just doing like a one-off Christmas comedy,
Yeah.
this would be it, but it wouldn't have A-list actors for the time.
Okay, for the time, yes.
Right.
Well, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, I mean, Gary Cole, very much so a character actor.
But A-list character actor.
A-list character actor, but definitely not
Yeah.
like a box office guy. Like
No,
that would have been JTT at that time.
He was the draw, yes.
So yeah, I mean, it's cast the lead, and then everyone around him is like whoever.
So if you are a sucker for kind of shoddily put together Hallmark comedies about Christmas, fill your boots. If you're a normal person, no.
I'm gonna go somewhere in the middle because I think there was enough lunacy in this movie that I just kind of watched it. I was like, what? How do you come up with all these like ridiculous plot conveniences? And like, just some of the stuff was so insane that I was kind of laughing, like kind of in spite of it. So I'm going to say somewhere in the middle. It's not a good movie by any stretch, but it's not the worst Christmas movie I've ever seen.
I'd say if they could give me a movie about him on a self-discovery road trip with the Tom Tom girls, I'd watch that all day, every day.
Well, someone get Jonathan Taylor Thomas on the phone. He's only 38. Let's make it happen. All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to take a brief break, and we will be right back.
What were they thinking?
What Were They Thinking is brought to you by HostGator. HostGator is a leading provider of shared, reseller, VPS, and dedicated hosting solutions. Award-winning support is available 24/7, 365 days a year via phone, email, and live chat. Discover why over 9 million websites trust HostGator. Use the coupon code SCHLOCK for 25% off your first purchase. That's SCHLOCK, SCHLOCK, for 25% off your first purchase.
What Were They Thinking is brought to you today by GameItAll.com. Whether it's video game news, the latest in music, or movie reviews, GameItAll.com is your one-stop shop for all nerdy talk.
What were they thinking?
And we're back.
We are back.
Nathan?
Yes, Brendan.
Mariah?
So,
Whoa, let's bring it back a bit. This is NPR, and I even have a new NPR voice this week. So bring it back.
sup.
No, not the tone, but the verbiage.
The wording.
This is NPR. You have to
What
sound professional and white.
Is up.
That'll
What is down?
That's not how that works.
That'll do.
Pig, that'll do.
I wasn't going to say that.
No, but which would just lead to us talking about her hog.
It is now time for the low haiku. The low haiku, Nathan, what is the low haiku?
Well, low haiku is the part of the show where we get poetic and thoughtful about the movie we've just talked about in 17 perfect syllables.
Mm-hmm. So, Mariah, as our guest, would you like to begin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, are you related to Jai Courtney?
It's her cousin.
Oh, that tracks. That tracks.
Okay.
I'll be home at 6 to get that stupid Porsche. Oh, my pager went off.
Very good, very good. Okay. All right, I'll do. I'll let you finish us out here this time, Nathan.
Okay.
All right, so here
I am a strong finisher.
Yes, strong. Is it an RKO?
It'll be out of nowhere.
I would love if all of our wrestling references from now on are just Randy Orton.
That won't be happening.
Your favorite wrestler. Hey JTT, your movie sucks. You wondering what to do? Improvement. Go home. Thank you. Thank you.
Gives some illusion to his other successful projects. Very good. Very good.
His other successful project.
Yes. Well, no. Yes, I suppose because WrestleMania 11 wasn't all that successful.
Not at all.
No. Mine is as follows. Glorified Hallmark. JTT quite the douchebag. Want Tom Tom sitcom.
Very good, very good. Closing out strong.
Yes.
And a 1, and a 2, and
We're out.
we're out. Woo!
Yes.
Nathan.
Ow.
Now, meow. Nathan, now that we've gotten through the low haiku, we just what do we always say?
Well, we always say.
Don't take a word for it.
Don't take our word for it. Well, let's take a look here and see what Rotten Tomatoes has to say about this Christmas turkey.
Youth.
The critics, 23%. The audience, 41%. I feel like there's some nostalgia in that.
Has to be.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Well, first off here, I have Lisa Schwartzbaum from Entertainment Weekly, and she says, this family comedy finds unearned laughs in old women and dog flatulence.
She's not wrong. It's only really the only two parts of the movie I laughed at.
Yep.
I'm this is from Liam Lacey of Globe and Mail, and I'm gonna read this as the way I think he sounds just by the picture that they have for his avatar on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
The Christmas turkey.
What's his picture?
Well, he basically just looks like a grumpy old man.
Nice. It sounded like a celebrity, but I couldn't quite put my finger on who that was.
No, that was just Christmas turkey.
Lael Lowenstein says, from Variety, says, arrogance gives way to humility, making this an appropriate, if thoroughly cliched, Christmas morality tale that's sugar-coated with an attractive cast spouting sitcom-quality dialogue. By the way, that is a positive review.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
This one is from Louis B. Parks from the Houston Chronicle. None of the cast comes off well, but they have little to work with since the dialogue sounds like it was made up on the spot and performed without rehearsal.
Yep. Kate Manning from the Palo Alto Weekly,
Peyton's mother.
I guess. She's out in California, so let's put on some California flair here. Valley Girl.
Okay.
It's a cinematic equivalent of flavored rice cakes, palatable while you're chewing and completely forgotten 10 minutes later.
Good analogy, Kate.
Thanks, and stuff, I'm sure.
Michael O'Sullivan from the Washington Post says, "Too sophisticated for thumbsuckers, but far too stupid for anyone else."
Stephen Boone of City Search says, Jonathan Taylor Thomas is completely out of his element as the smooth-talking operator.
Negative review.
It is a negative review, yes.
Shall we go into the audience?
Oh, let's.
Let's see what the people have to say. Mariah, you want to read one there?
So this one is a 5-star review from Mike W. and says, "What a journey, especially around the holidays." Wow.
5 stars.
Sarah P, I guess, feels sort of the same way.
Okay.
A cheesy Disney movie, but it's fun to watch at Christmas. 2.5 stars.
Oh, the only 2.5. Ethan A says, "My favorite Christmas movie of all time." 5 stars.
Jesus, Ethan, calm down.
Just reading it as it's written.
Is it all caps?
No, there's a bunch of exclamation marks, though. Oh, this one from Lisa Simpson. You want to read that one?
Yeah,
Mariah?
so Lisa Simpson says, "LOL, this movie was so funny. I loved it. And laughed the whole time. Totally recommend for you to see." Recommend.
5 stars.
5 stars. I thought she was
well,
supposed to be smart, Lisa Simpson.
She got hit in the head.
Heather P gave it 5 stars, and she writes, "I was a 90s kid, but nowadays I find most 90s movies and TV shows unappealing. This movie is an exception. This epic quote from it sums up both the movie, the 90s, the aughts, and the tens culture." Please indulge me. "I'm a millennial type of guy. I dig world music. I think Freons should be banned. I'm into yoga and macrobiotic food." That's actually the first time I'd ever heard the word millennial was in this movie. There's 90s pop culture oozing out of every scene, the net, with the Yahooligans style graphic interface, answering machines, aqua, overalls, beepers, amber, backwards hats, leather jackets, Dave Matthews Band tickets, a photo of Bill Clinton, pay phones on the bus, Blink-182, travel agents, cordless phones, cherry poppin' daddies, watches, and frosted tips. Best of all, Allie is all about the feminism, poetry, girl power, and slugging pervs. Aforementioned pervs assume she listens to Jules, Sarah McLachlan, Fiona Apple, and Natalie Merchant, which makes me love her even more. We need more intelligent and free-spirited women like them in the world. One moment. Hello? Sorry about that, guys. The 90s were calling to say they wanted their name not associated with this movie at all.
And then, but you only got part of that message, right? Because your answering machine cut off.
It was because it was full up. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that was a hell of a review. This one is from Ryan K, who gives it 2 stars. He says, "The dialogue tries too hard to seem intelligent, but comes across like a pretentious high school freshman trying to impress a girl who just discovered wine."
This is from Dustin O, and he says, "This movie is a Christmas movie, and I use to watch it lots of times." From Dustin O, and it says 5 stars.
Okay.
He used.
I got another one here.
Okay.
It's also kind of lengthy. Just give me some leeway here. Christine D gave it 4 stars, and she writes, "Great movie, funny."
Shit.
Oh my god, that was long.
Whoa.
I know you cut some of that if you need to.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to trim that down in post.
Just really long, just like me. What?
See, Mariah comes on and complains about the big penis jokes, and then she makes them herself.
It's my gimmick.
All right, I got one more here for you guys. This is a 3.5-star review from Ryan A. And he says, I'll be home for Christmas is a great. If you never that a miracle can happen, it can. Great Christmas.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Yep. Somebody is learning about their new keyboard.
I got one from Karsh D.
Okay.
Gave it 2 stars. And I'm going to read this as snootily as I think it was intended. A typical American Xmas film where a young lad tries to get home for Xmas Eve dinner and becomes a better person as a result and gets the girl without really saying.
Well, there you have it, folks. Those were the reviews. Now, as we kind of round it to the end, before Montrose comes in, Nathan, I just want to make a little announcement. Some housekeeping, I guess. We're going to be away for a little bit. We will have a bonus Patreon exclusive episode coming up this weekend, so stay tuned for that. Should we just announce what it is?
Yeah, I mean, it's Patreon. Yeah, go for it.
This weekend we'll be talking about the Star Wars Holiday Special.
What? How do I become a Patreon?
Well, Mariah, I'm glad you asked me that. You can actually go to patreon.com/WWTT podcast, and you can sign up today for as little as $1 a month.
Oh my goodness. That could seem like feed a starving child.
Just don't tell them where else to spend it, Mariah.
That's a horrible advertisement.
I don't know.
So, you can either feed starving kids or give to our podcast. It's your call, folks.
So this is Christmas.
Okay.
What have you done?
This is going downhill.
Another year over.
All right.
Okay.
If you're already a Patreon, if you're not, it's very easy to sign up. And again, for as little as $1 a month, you can do that. You know what? Just cut one coffee out of your day, one day a month, and that's enough.
It's like a half a coffee nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you cut a whole one, that's more than enough.
Right?
Yeah. But besides that, we are taking a little break. We will be back on January the 9th with a brand new episode, or January the 7th if you're on Patreon. And I guess what we're starting in January, we should note, is a little series called Recently Regrettable. And this will focus on movies from the previous year. So the whole month of January, we're going to be doing movies from 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And Nathan, why don't you give us a little hint ski for the first movie of 2019 on January the 9th?
Well, you want just like a tiny tidbit to tide them over until the Yuletide is tidied up.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I can give them it's a small hint, a gift, if you will, like the kind you would open on Christmas Eve, so you could kind of get a hint of what the rest of your Christmas is going to be like.
Nathan, take off that bow and tell them their hint.
Oh, okay.
Unwrap this present.
Well, you know what? I'm getting to it. Just give me a second.
Okay.
La curses.
There you go. All right, so now let's get Montrose in here to deliver his final message of 2019. Unless you're on Patreon, you'll hear a last one, but this is for our main feed. Go.
Hello, it's your good friend Montrose Munkington III here, and I would like to take this moment not only to shill my products, but also to let everyone know I wish them all the merriest of Christmas, the festivest of Yuletide, and also the happiest of Hanukkahs. And also, you know what? Even if you're not celebrating any of those holidays, or even a holiday at all, I hope you have a fantastic December. I am Montrose Munkington III. You can find me on YouTube. Montrose Munkington TV is my channel. I am on Facebook, Montrose Munkington III, Esquire, and Friends. And I'm also on Twitter, at Montrose III. That's the number 3RD. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
More later.
No, I did that on purpose. Stop ruining it.
Okay, Merry Christmas. More later.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Montrose.
Montrose?
Fuck. Montrose, sorry.
So apparently having a giant penis makes you unable to pronounce proper British names.
It makes her T's come out like C's.
Okay, well, I would say Merry Christmas to you. However, it looks like you will be giving the gifts to Brendan, if you catch what I'm saying.
I do.
Go to hell.
That's excellent. He won't be able to sit down for a week.
At least. Well, thanks, Montrose. That was great.
You're welcome, and Merry Christmas to you both.
Thanks, Montrose.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Stop it! I'm leaving, and I'm going to get some sherry and watch the Yule log burn.
All right, enjoy the Star Wars Holiday
I'll
Special.
give you log.
What? I have to watch the Star Wars Holiday Special?
Every year.
Blast you!
So, Mariah, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. I'll see you in 6 months.
Wait, me?
No. No, I like the last episode I was on was the Medea. Six months ago.
So you're only going to see me in 6 months.
Yeah.
Anywho, so yeah, thanks for joining us. And Nathan, now that we've come to the end of this show, come to the end of 2019 for this podcast, for the most part, unless you check us out on Patreon. Do you have any questions?
I do, but first, I do want to say Merry Christmas to everybody, and Happy Holidays, whatever you're doing. I hope it's great, and you have an excellent holiday time. If you're feeling kind of bad or sad, do reach out. There are people there who will be more than glad to help you. As far as my questions go, though, that's my kid leaving. So as for my questions about this movie, now, in a movie where you have two kind of A-list TV actors who have a chemistry that sizzles, and with the movie where it's totally fine to just assume a tall guy running who happens to be African American is from Kenya. Perfectly acceptable. With a movie like that we can now watch on Disney Plus anytime we want. And all of this, and they have a great scene in this movie where he is forced to ride with aging Tom Jones fans. And they don't make the whole movie about that particular scene. It just makes me wonder, what were they?
He hated Star Wars. Can you believe that?
I could top that. My latest date told me he didn't like black and white movies.
What?
Do you have a movie deal breaker? Is there a film you love so much that if your significant other didn't like it, it would be Splitsville?
Well, we're dating hosts Greg and Lauren, and in our podcast, Movie Date Night, we introduce each other to our favorite movies and see if our relationship can survive. And if our partners appreciate the movies as much as we do.
Find us wherever podcasts are available and follow us at Movie Date Night on Facebook or Twitter to talk movies with us.
It's time, let's check our cue, baby. Pair it with a couple brews, baby. We love good movies. We love the bad ones too. So we watch them all and pass their lessons on to you. Oh yeah. Everything I learned from movies helps to make life a little bit groovy. Whether one last plot holes or gratuitous movies, it's time to get busy with your friend Steve and Izzy at eilfm.podbean.com.